But I don't have the right to share your personal medical information with anyone else.
But it's not, I'm not saying the individual personal teacher. The
Yes,
parents,
you are.
The parents calling and just saying, is the teacher at that school? It doesn't have to be in the classroom. Is the teacher in that school that my child
Well,
goes
if you're
to?
asking me about a teacher in a school, you've limited the population down to the point that, yes, you've released identifiable information. If I said, your news station, a reporter that reports on school business at that station has this infectious disease, how closely have I come to pointing that arrow at you? Same thing. That a person's medical information is just that, is that person's medical information.
It's not a policy he's talking about, it's federal law.
Right.
It's hammered into us by our attorneys, by Dr. Moss.
And it's also part of the South Carolina law, South Carolina code.
However, a person's travels are not private information, so why is this something just that the district feels, they can't even, confirm or acknowledge that several teachers have traveled there and, that we understand the situation. Unfortunately, this outbreak has happened while they were traveling there, and this is what being done without identifying who the teachers were.
And I'm not going to do that either. But what I will do is tell you, to my knowledge, we've not had anyone travel anywhere close to a location where Ebola has been identified.
And when you say to your knowledge, you've not had anyone travel anywhere close. When you say anywhere close, how are you defining that?
Hundreds of miles.
Hundreds of miles?
Hundreds of miles.
Okay. And with just the situation, I saw a story on this just before.
You do understand geography and how large the continent is.
Yes,
Okay.
I do. But, saw a story on this. It was AP or, USA Today, something, soon before I came over here, saying that health officials are concerned that they don't understand the true scope of the outbreak right now. That numbers are, every time they open up a new treatment center, they're flooding in, and so fear they don't have a true understanding of the scope. Because of that, is there not, even if it's hundreds of miles, don't feel the need to just be as cautious as possible?
Oh, we are. Then you didn't hear me when I said that we follow our protocol from the very beginning, which is a very cautious protocol.
So, speaking generally, even if you had people traveling within, like you said, you're not aware of any teachers who have been anywhere near.
I think Mississippi and Oregon.
Right, so even if it's hundreds of miles, you still might invoke the procedure.
No, I think I said we would invoke the procedure.
Okay. But cannot say if you currently, right now or recently have. Okay.
I can see your mind's working, trying to figure out how to ask me a question that you can get the answer you want.
There's a Facebook page that says Our Journey to Africa, and there are teachers from Beaufort County on the page.
I've not seen that page.
Let me show you a screenshot of it.
Okay, because I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about Facebook. Go ahead with your question. I'm sorry I interrupted.
But if they're on this page and we show you this picture of them, can you say if they're teachers within the county?
Do they identify themselves on Facebook?
Some of them do, yes.
Then I think you've answered your own question.
Okay.
I'm not going to answer the question.
If someone presented that information to you, would you go to whatever employee it may be, or would you wait for them to self-report it to you?
What information are you talking to?
That they're supposedly have visited a West African nation.
We have a protocol in place that allows for both self-reporting or us to investigate anyone that may have been anywhere in the world. So that process takes care of itself, if that's the root of your question.
Any concerns that, I mean, I'm sure not as much with staff. I mean, because there's obviously fewer staff in the district than there are students, but with over 20,000 students in the district and, you know, over 2,500, I mean, that's just the number of teachers, not let alone staff. Concerns that someone could slip through the cracks? Yes.
Well, there's always possibility someone can slip through the cracks. I mean, with any disease, you always have those that might slip through the cracks. But in terms of students that travel extensively, they don't hide it. They actually want it part of their transcript or part of their process for admissions after high school. So I don't know of a student that hides international travel. Most of them truly want to talk about it, write about it, and definitely get credit for it when they're trying to secure a spot in a college of choice.
And in this, you know, policy in terms of the self-reporting, or if you, you know, through your own knowledge know of someone, I mean, don't think you need to take it so far as if someone is traveling out of the country that they, regardless of whether or not there may be an infectious disease there, that's something they have to let you know in case, you know, there is an outbreak for something, or just they only have to, you know, report it to you, or you will only investigate if there is knowledge of an infectious disease there.
Well, we'd be monitoring everyone that walked through an international airport. Under if we said, okay, anyone that travels anywhere, we're going to follow this protocol. We would have anyone and everyone that ever walks through an international airport, because they would come in contact with international business folks. So, no, I think the protocol we have in place is sufficient.
Are you discouraging people to go into West Africa, into those areas as a district? To
No,
discourage people to travel from traveling there?
Oh no, I think travel, missionary work, all of those are personal decisions that people make. And I think that's where that decision needs to stay within their personal beliefs, their personal feelings, the feelings of their family, and anyone else that they may involve in making that kind of decision. The same thing with anywhere where Americans are at risk. I mean, that would be like, would I discourage someone from going to an Arabic country? Well, that's just as dangerous in some places, but that's, again, a personal decision.
There's plenty of travel advisories, as you're aware, on the U.S. State Department website, very explicit, very detailed.
I mean, I know you said obviously you are, you know, continuing to monitor and look at, you know, the CDC guidelines and recommendations. Has the State Department of Education, or, you know, any state public health agencies or anything like that, you know, sent out any memos to school districts or made any recommendations on a procedure to follow, or, you know, what should be done at just...
Not that I'm aware of. DHEC has some guidelines out there, but other than just regular guidelines and CDC has guidelines for all their infectious diseases. I've not received anything recently from the state for any infectious disease. Anything else? I like this one shot deal, by the way.
Sorry about